Captain Jack Miller floated through the debris field that used to be the trading station Omega-7. His salvage ship, the Iron Hope, had picked up the distress signal 3 days ago. Now, as he searched through the wreckage, his scanner beeped with a life sign. The signal led him to a damaged escape pod, barely functional. Inside, he found something that made his blood run cold. The being was humanoid, but clearly alien. Pale blue skin that seemed to shimmer, elongated limbs, and when it opened its eyes, they were completely black with silver pupils. Most disturbing were the retractable fangs visible as it gasped for breath. Jack knew exactly what this was. A Vex, the alien vampire species that had terrorized dozens of colonies 50 years ago. They fed on the life energy of other beings, draining them until nothing remained. The Galactic Alliance had hunted them to extinction after the Mars colony massacre. Or so everyone thought. The Vex was dying. Its breathing was shallow, and dark purple blood leaked from multiple wounds. Jack's hand moved to his plasma pistol. One shot would finish what the Alliance started. It would be mercy, really. But then the alien spoke, its voice weak but clear through the universal translator. Please, I am the last. My name is Kara. I never killed anyone. I was born after. After the war? Jack hesitated. The creature, Kara, looked young, though it was hard to tell with aliens. Her black eyes held fear, not hunger. She continued, my parents. They hid me, taught me to survive on synthetic plasma. Never hurt anyone. The station, they found out what I was. Attacked without warning. The captain's mind raced. Everything he'd been taught said Vex were monsters, incapable of controlling their hunger. But here was one claiming to have never fed on a living being. His scanner showed she was telling the truth about being near death. Her energy readings were critically low. Why should I believe you? Jack asked, keeping his weapon ready. Kara raised a trembling hand to her neck, pulling out a small data chip. My whole life, recorded here. 30 years of hiding, running, never hurting anyone. Please, I don't want my species to die as monsters. We weren't all evil. Some of us ... Some tried to change. Jack took the chip, his curiosity overcoming caution. He plugged it into his suit's reader. Images flashed before his eyes. A young Kara being taught by older Vex to resist the hunger. Scenes of her working in hospitals, helping save lives. Recordings of her refusing to feed, even when starving. It was all there, documented proof of a Vex who had chosen to be different. The captain made his decision. He lowered his weapon and pulled out his emergency medical kit. I'm going to regret this, he muttered, injecting her with a stabilizer. Can you walk? Kara's eyes widened in surprise. You're helping me? But I'm a Vex. Your kind hunts mine. Maybe that needs to change, Jack said, supporting her weight as they moved toward his ship. The Alliance thinks they're all extinct anyway. What they don't know won't hurt them. As they reached the Iron Hope, Jack's communication system crackled to life. Captain Miller, this is Alliance Patrol Ship Vengeance. We detected your presence at the station. Did you find any survivors? Jack looked at Kara, who was trying to stand despite her injuries. Her fear was obvious, but there was also a glimmer of hope in those strange eyes. He activated his calm. Negative vengeance. Just debris and bodies. Nothing salvageable here. Understood, Captain. Safe travels. As the patrol ship warped away, Jack helped Kara into his medical bay. Why? She asked simply. Jack began treating her wounds with practiced efficiency. Because someone has to break the cycle. Hate breeds hate. Maybe if one human saves one Vex, it means something. Maybe it means we can be better than our history. Kara managed a weak smile, revealing those fearsome fangs that seemed less threatening now. Thank you, Captain Jack. I won't forget this kindness. Don't thank me yet, Jack warned. Keeping you hidden won't be easy. And if the Alliance finds out, we're both dead. Then we better make sure they don't find out. Kara replied with determination. 3 weeks had passed since Jack rescued Kara from the destroyed station. The Iron Hope drifted through the outer rim, far from Alliance patrols. Jack had converted a storage room into living quarters for his unusual passenger. Installing UV shields since direct starlight was painful for Vex. Kara had recovered remarkably well, her alien physiology healing faster than expected. She spent her days studying human culture through the ship's database, fascinated by Earth's history. Jack found her one evening watching old Earth movies, tears streaming down her blue face. "What's wrong?" Jack asked, concerned. Kara paused the film. It was about a father sacrificing himself for his daughter. "Your species. You glorify sacrifice for others. My people's stories were always about taking, consuming, surviving at any cost. Maybe that's why we became what we became." Jack sat beside her, maintaining a careful distance. Despite growing trust, he knew her hunger was always there. "You're not like that. You chose differently, because my parents saw what our hunger had done," Kara explained. "After the war started, they realized we had become the monsters other species feared. They wanted me to be proof we could change." Their conversation was interrupted by an alarm. Jack rushed to the cockpit, Kara following. On the scanner, a small civilian transport was under attack by pirates. The vessel was taking heavy damage, and escape pods were launching. "We have to help them," Kara said immediately. Jack looked at her skeptically. "A ship full of potential victims, and you want to get closer?" Kara's jaw tightened. "That's exactly why we need to help. I need to prove to you, to myself, that I can be near others without giving in." Jack saw the determination in her eyes and made the choice. Strap in. This might get rough. The Iron Hope's weapons were basic, but Jack was a skilled pilot. He managed to disable one pirate ship and damage another, forcing them to retreat. The civilian transport was badly damaged, but stable. "Captain Miller to transport vessel. Do you require assistance?" "Thank God." "Yes, our medical bay is destroyed and we have wounded." "Can you help?" Jack looked at Kara. This would be the real test. "We're coming aboard." As they entered the transport, Kara pulled up her hood and wrapped her face, hiding her alien features. The wounded were everywhere. Humans, Thrakens, even a family of small Novi. The smell of blood filled the air, and Jack saw Kara's hands trembling. "Are you okay?" He whispered, "The hunger. It's strong," she admitted quietly. "But I'm stronger." For the next 6 hours, Kara worked tirelessly beside Jack, helping treat the wounded. Her medical knowledge, gained from years of studying to understand her own physiology, proved invaluable. She saved 3 lives that Jack admitted he couldn't have saved alone. The transport's captain, an elderly human named Tom, approached them afterward. "I can't thank you enough. Your partner here is incredible. Where did she train?" "Self-taught," Jack said quickly. "She's shy about her appearance. Accident in her past." Tom nodded understandingly. "Well, she's welcome on my ship any time." As they returned to the Iron Hope, Kara collapsed in exhaustion. Jack caught her, alarmed to see her skin had paled even further. The hunger. Fighting it while surrounded by wounded. "It drained me," she explained weakly. Jack didn't hesitate. He retrieved the synthetic plasma from storage, a supply he'd managed to create using her instructions. As she fed, color returned to her features. "You did it," Jack said with genuine admiration. 6 hours surrounded by blood and vulnerable people, and you never gave in. Kara managed to smile. "I had a good reason to resist. You believed in me. I couldn't let you down. You know what this means?" Jack asked. If you can resist under those conditions, you can resist anywhere. You're living proof that Vex can coexist with other species. One Vex isn't enough to change the galaxy's mind, Kara said sadly. Maybe not, Jack agreed. But it's a start. And every revolution starts with one person choosing to be different. That night, Jack made a decision. He opened a secure channel to an old friend, Dr. Sam Peters, a xenobiologist who had always argued against genocide of any species. Sam, I need to meet you. I have something that will change everything we thought we knew about the Vex. Jack, the Vex are extinct. That's what we need to talk about. Asterisk. Dr. Sam Peters stared at Kara in absolute shock. The meeting had been arranged at an abandoned research station in the neutral zone, where Alliance law had no reach. Sam's scientific curiosity warred with 50 years of propaganda about the Vex threat. Impossible, Sam breathed, scanner in hand. The readings confirm it. You're really a Vex, but you're not attacking us. Kara sat patiently as Sam conducted test after test. I understand your fear, Doctor. My people earned it. But I hope to earn something else. A chance. Sam reviewed the data from Kara's chip, cross-referencing with her biological scans. The synthetic plasma formula. It's brilliant. It provides the energy signature your species needs without requiring living donors. This could have saved so many lives during the war. My parents developed it too late, Kara said sadly. By then, the killing had already started on both sides. Their scientific discussion was interrupted by Jack's proximity alarm. 3 Alliance military vessels had just dropped out of hyperspace near the station. That's not a patrol, Jack said grimly. That's a hunting party. A transmission came through on all frequencies. This is Commander Rex Stone of the Alliance Special Operations. We know you're harboring a Vex survivor, Captain Miller. Surrender the creature, and you'll be shown mercy. Sam went pale. How did they find us? Jack was already moving, preparing the ship for emergency departure. Doesn't matter now. We need to run. No, Kara said firmly. I won't keep running. And I won't let you throw away your lives for me. She moved toward the airlock, but Jack blocked her path. Absolutely not. We didn't come this far to hand you over to Stone. He's a fanatic, lost his whole colony to Vex attacks. He won't care that you're different. The station shook as warning shots struck nearby. Stone's voice returned. You have 1 minute to comply. Sam suddenly spoke up. I have an idea. The Alliance can't act in the neutral zone without cause. If we transmit Kara's story on all channels, make it public, they'll have to follow proper procedures. That'll start a panic, Jack warned, or start a conversation, Sam countered. The galaxy thinks the Vex are extinct monsters. What if they see one who chose peace? One who saves lives? Kara looked between them. Do it. Sam's fingers flew over. The console, preparing a broadcast with all of Kara's data, her medical work, the synthetic plasma formula, and testimony from the people she'd saved. But before they could transmit, the station's power cut out. Emergency lighting kicked in as Alliance soldiers breached the station. Jack, Sam, and Kara were quickly surrounded. Commander Stone entered, his scarred face showing no emotion as he looked at Kara. So it's true. One survived. His hand went to his weapon. My family wasn't so lucky. Commander Stone, Kara said calmly, stepping forward despite the weapons trained on her. I know about the Terra 5 colony. I've studied every attack. My parents were there, part of the swarm. They told me about it before they died, their greatest shame. Stone's face contorted with rage. Don't you dare speak of them. They wanted me to know the truth, Kara continued. Every life taken, every family destroyed. They wanted me to carry that weight so I would never forget the cost of giving in to hunger. Your family died because my species failed to find another way. I can't bring them back. But I've spent my life trying to be what my people should have been. Pretty words won't save you, monster. Then let my actions speak. Kara slowly pulled out a medical injector. This contains concentrated synthetic plasma. It could satisfy a Vex for months. I'm giving you the formula. Even if you kill me, maybe someday, if you find other survivors who want to change, you can offer them a choice besides death. Stone stared at the injector, then at Kara. For a long moment, nobody moved. Commander, one soldier spoke up. She was the one who saved the Thompson transport last month. My cousin was on that ship. She said a mysterious medic worked for hours saving everyone, never asking for payment. Other soldiers began murmuring. Stories were emerging. Mysterious medical assistants in the outer colonies, always by a hooded figure who vanished afterward. Stone's weapon lowered slightly. You've been helping humans? Humans, Thrakens, Novi, anyone who needs it, Kara replied. That's what I choose to be. Asterisk, the Galactic Council chamber had not seen such tension in decades. News of Kara's existence had spread across every inhabited system. Some called for her immediate execution, others for her protection. The Council had decided on something unprecedented, a trial to determine not just Kara's fate, but the legal status of any Vex survivors. Jack stood as Kara's advocate, while Commander Stone had shocked everyone by refusing to prosecute. Instead, the prosecution was led by Ambassador Vale, who had lost 3 worlds to Vex attacks. The defendant may be singular, Vale began, but she represents an existential threat. One Vex who claims control today could lose it tomorrow. And if there's one survivor, there could be others. Jack stood to respond. Your Honors, we're not here to relitigate the past. We're here to decide if a species can evolve, if an individual can choose to be better than their nature. Kara has lived 30 years without taking a single life. She's saved hundreds. The Council reviewed the evidence, footage of Kara's medical work, testimony from those she'd saved, and the synthetic plasma formula she'd freely shared. Dr. Sam presented biological data showing Kara's hunger response had actually weakened over years of resistance, suggesting Vex could indeed overcome their nature through choice and practice. On the 3rd day, an unexpected witness arrived. An ancient Aki elder, one of the oldest living beings in the galaxy, requested to speak. I am old enough to remember the Vex before they became what you feared, the elder said, his crystalline form pulsing with light. They were explorers once, scientists. The hunger was a mutation, a disease that spread through their species. They tried to cure it, but fear and violence accelerated its spread. Both sides share blame for what followed. That doesn't excuse genocide, Vale argued. No, the elder agreed, but it provides context. This young Vex represents what her species might have become had we chosen differently. Do we repeat old mistakes, or forge a new path? Commander Stone suddenly stood. I request to speak. The Council granted permission, and Stone faced Kara directly. I've spent 30 years hunting your kind. I dreamed of vengeance every night, but these past weeks, I've watched you. In custody, you helped treat injured prisoners. You taught our medics new techniques. You never complained, never threatened, never tried to escape. He pulled out the injector Kara had given him. I had this tested. It works. It could have ended the war before it started. Your parents developed this? Yes, Kara confirmed. Too late to save anyone, but they hoped it might matter someday. Stone nodded slowly. I've killed 17 Vex in my career. Each one fought to the death, tried to feed even while dying. You offered your life for your friends. You're either the greatest deceiver I've met, or you're genuinely different. What are you saying, Commander? Vale demanded. I'm saying maybe it's time to stop fighting the last war, Stone replied. I'll never forgive what the Vex did, but I can recognize that she isn't them. The council deliberated for hours. When they returned, the chief counselor, a massive Thraken named Tor, delivered the verdict. Kara of the Vex, this council finds you guilty of no crimes. You cannot be held responsible for your species' actions. Furthermore, we recognize you as a sentient being with full rights under galactic law. The chamber erupted in mixed reactions. Tor continued, however, you will remain under monitoring for 1 year. Captain Miller has volunteered as your guardian. You will report monthly to Dr. Peters for biological assessment. Any sign of regression to predatory behavior will result in immediate containment. And if there are other Vex survivors? Jack asked. They will be evaluated case by case. The synthetic plasma formula will be made available. Any Vex willing to live peacefully will be given the chance, under strict supervision. As they left the chamber, Kara was trembling. They're giving us a chance. My species might survive, not as monsters, but as something new. It won't be easy, Stone warned, approaching them. Many will never accept you, but some will, Jack said firmly. That's how change happens. Stone extended his hand to Kara. I'll be watching you, but I hope you prove me wrong about what Vex can be. Kara shook his hand carefully. Commander, I hope to prove us all wrong about what any of us can become. Asterisk. 1 year later, the galaxy watched as Kara stood before the Galactic Council once more. But this time, she wasn't alone. 3 more Vex stood with her, survivors who had been hiding, inspired by her example to come forward. Your honors, Kara began. When you gave me a chance, you gave my entire species hope. These 3 lived in terror for decades, feeding on vermin and synthetic substitutes, believing they were alone. Now they stand here, ready to contribute to galactic society. Jack presented the council with a year's worth of data. Kara has not only maintained complete control, but has revolutionized emergency medicine. Her understanding of energy transfer has saved over 3,000 lives. The other Vex have shown similar control under the synthetic plasma protocol. Dr. Sam added, we've established a treatment center on Haven Station. Any Vex who comes forward receives synthetic plasma, psychological support, and integration assistance. We've had 0 incidents. Commander Stone, now serving as security advisor for the Vex integration program, spoke next. I never thought I'd say this, but these Vex have become valuable assets. Their unique abilities, when channeled properly, make them exceptional medical personnel and energy technicians. The Council voted unanimously to make the integration program permanent. The Vex species was officially removed from the extinction list and granted provisional membership in the Galactic Alliance. After the ceremony, Kara found herself in the station's observation deck with Jack, looking out at the stars. My parents would never have believed this, she said softly. Their daughter, standing in the heart of the Alliance, not as a prisoner, but as a citizen. You did more than survive, Jack replied. You changed the entire galaxy's perspective. That's the most human thing I've ever seen. The ability to inspire change. Kara smiled, her fangs no longer something she felt she had to hide. Perhaps that's why a human saved me. Your species sees potential where others see only threat. They were joined by Stone, who had become an unlikely ally over the past year. The 4th Vex survivor just made contact. A child, hidden since the war. The parents want to bring her to Haven Station. How many more do you think are out there? Jack asked. Maybe dozens, maybe none, Kara replied. But even if we only save a few, we're rebuilding something that was lost, the chance to choose who we become. Stone pulled out a data pad. There's something else. The Council wants to establish a new department, Extinct Species Recovery and Integration. They want you 3 to lead it. All of us? Jack asked, surprised. A Vex who chose peace, a human who chose compassion, and a soldier who chose forgiveness, Stone said with a slight smile. They figure if we can work together, we can help other species thought lost to war or fear. Kara looked at her unlikely partners. My people have a saying, the hunger defines us. But I prefer a human saying I learned, our choices define us. 6 months later, the first extinct species recovery mission launched. The team had received reports of Razek survivors, a species supposedly wiped out in a different conflict. As their ship departed, Kara stood on the bridge, no longer hiding in the shadows. You know, Jack said, joining her, a year ago, I was just a salvage captain who found a dying alien. Now look at us. Now we're saving species, Kara replied. One choice at a time. A young human crew member approached nervously. Commander Kara, I wanted to thank you. Your medical techniques saved my mother's life last month. Kara smiled warmly. I'm glad I could help. That's what we're here for, to save lives, not take them. As the ship jumped to hyperspace, Jack reflected on how much had changed. The galaxy that had once hunted Vex now looked to them for hope. Fear had transformed into respect, hatred into understanding. My grandfather used to tell me, Jack said, that humans' greatest strength wasn't their technology or their numbers, but their ability to see enemies as potential friends. I never understood until I met you, and my parents believed our greatest weakness was seeing everyone as prey. Kara responded, You helped me prove them wrong. The hunger doesn't define us. Our choices do. Their ship sailed into the unknown, carrying a message to the galaxy. No species was beyond redemption, no enemy permanently fixed in that role. In choosing to save the last Vex, humanity had saved more than a species. They had saved the possibility of transformation itself. The story of the human who saved the alien vampires would be told for generations. Proof that sometimes the most human thing to do is to see humanity in others. Asterisk.